Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. I am your host, Dino. As well with me, I got hosting. I got my boy Khalil.
Yes, sir. We back.
And I got my boy Dede.
Go Birds!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey,
Go Birds!
Y'all already know what we coming with, man. We got 4 topics for y'all. We got a little sprinkle in the end of a little something extra. For the first topic, we're going to give y'all our top 6 games for our NFL Week 9 recap. We're going to talk about the 6 games that we thought was the best games, the biggest games, and the most deciding games. We definitely got to get on that. Then sticking with the NFL, we're going to give our mid-season thoughts. We're going to let y'all know what we seeing during this season, during the halfway point. It is the halfway point in the season now, so we're going to give y'all our mid-season thoughts, what we see, what we want to see. On top of that, we're going to give y'all our top 5 teams in the NFL for the mid-season. Going into college football, y'all already know we got our Week 10 recap. We got 6 games that was huge in college football that we're going to have to talk about. We're going to have to break those down. And as a little sprinkle add-on, we're going to give y'all our very, very early predictions for men's college basketball. We're going to give y'all predictions on who we think is going to be the championship winners. Very, very early, so they're going to be pretty bold. We don't know exactly what's going to go on yet, but we're going to get that to y'all too. But Day, take us away with our first topic.
All right, let's get it. Let's get into the NFL. Start this off right. As we are currently doing this podcast on Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers are taking on the New York Jets. All right, first game we're going to cover for NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs, they defeated the Miami Dolphins 21-14, and Tyreek Hill returned against his former team. The game was held in Frankfurt, Germany.
I'm going to be honest, it was a better game than a lot of people thought it was going to be. To keep it a bean, I've seen a lot of people that thought that the Chiefs were just going to smack them. I didn't think that. I know y'all wouldn't think that because Miami's actually a pretty good team. But I like the game. I think Patrick Mahomes played a lot better than what his stats say. It only says that he has 185 and 2 touchdowns. But it was super efficient. It was a pretty clean game by him. More on the Miami side, really just them last couple plays of the game for Tua was just terrible. I know Tyreek Hill was not happy with those, especially them last 2 passes by him. He was not happy with that. And Tyreek Hill kind of struggled too. You see, he was getting a little frustrated on the sideline with his team. And, that's what happened when you're going against, the team that you just came from. And he been talking about playing them since they got him on the schedule. He been wanting to dog them. And he didn't really get the chance to.
He got what he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it was a good, solid win by the Chiefs. And they continue to roll.
I'm not gonna lie, we must have watched 2 different games. I'm not gonna lie. My takeaway from this game is that, the Chiefs got off to a hot start. They went up 21-0. They did get a defensive touchdown off a forced fumble from Trent McDuffie. He forced a fumble on Tyreek Hill, took it back to the crib. But besides that, from that point on, the Chiefs offense didn't really get anything going. So, you could praise Mahomes for being efficient 20 for 30, but he did absolutely nothing in the second half. Granted, it was enough for them to get the win because of the defense that kept them in the game, that kept, Miami's offense from getting started. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't like what I seen from the offense. Get it, it's Mahomes. I'm not doubting Mahomes. I think he get it turned around at some point or another. But, maybe it's his receivers. Maybe, Travis Kelce didn't have his best game either. But, you go out there and not score any points in the, second half against a very good team. That's a recipe to get beat. Granted, they did have a 21-point lead cushion going into the first to the second half, given, the defense did give them a touchdown. So essentially that offense only scored 14 points. And that was early in the game. So for about 2 quarters and a half, they literally did nothing. So, that's a little concerning, given if they go against a team, that can, get something going. As far as on the other end, Miami, I don't know, man. Their stock is kind of going down at this point when you look at who the teams that They beating who the teams that they lost to. They're 0-3 against teams with a running record at this point. So that's very concerning to me. They're beating up on the bad teams, but when it comes to the big teams, they're not really, getting the job done like they need to.
Eat your words, sir. Eat your words.
What you mean?
Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep
Listen,
going. Sorry for interrupting you. I'm
listen,
sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. My bad.
Like I'm saying, I just need to see more. I've seen what this offense can do. Defense has been playing better as the season went on, but I feel like the offense has not been as explosive. Maybe, it's them missing A-Chain. I think A-Chain gave him a lot early in the season. He will be back in the next couple of weeks, so that will add some spark to this offense. But it's just about, taking care of business against the teams that are good, or, in a sense, not starting so slow, because they've been starting slow against a lot of teams. Granted, they're better than a lot of teams, so they come back and beat these teams. We've seen them go down 14-0 to a winless Carolina team at the time. They roll back and win that game, of course, because they're just a 10 times better team. But against teams like the Chiefs, you spot them 21 points. You're playing from a deficit. It wasn't enough. Now you could have came out early and got some points. Who knows? You probably could have beat this Chiefs team, given that this offense did not do essentially nothing in the second half. So, I mean, it's very concerning. Good win for the Chiefs. I did have the Chiefs winning, so they got the dub. But, for both teams, there's some things that they need to work on, come, later down in the season when they, play some games that actually matter.
I mean, you said we was watching two different games. Bro, Pat Mahomes barely took any shots to really score, bro. So it's like, yeah, offensively,
They couldn't.
still play good.
They couldn't. The defense,
points.
the Miami secondary, they had the team on lock. They had the offense on lock.
Bro, at the
Let's
end
be
of the
real.
Bro, y'all gave up 21 in the first half. What you mean good? They adjusted in the second half, but it's not like not like they wanted to come out and throw the ball all crazy and actually run it up. Like, nah.
They couldn't do anything.
You can't give me no points.
couldn't
Not
do
a field
anything.
goal. Now you can't put your team in a field goal range. Nothing. It's not like they was missing field goals. They didn't even get in field goal range to score field
They
goals.
didn't get field goal range.
You got to get
Nah, they
points
didn't.
at the end of the day, bro. You go 30 minutes of playing football with no points. And you only put up 14 points in the whole game. 7 of those points came from your defense. That's why y'all won a game, because of the 7 points your defense gave you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna say this, man. Here we go again with the Chiefs squeaking by with another close win. It was 21-14. I mean, if that wasn't for that fumble return by Trent McDuffie when he forced on Tyreek Hill, this would be a tie game. This game could have went into overtime. This game also could have went overtime if Tua didn't fold the last drive. Now, this is a Miami team that can't be a good team. Their record against teams over 500 are 0-3. Miami cannot beat on no good teams. They beat on all the bad teams, and that's where all their wins came from, beating bad teams. But again, this is so proclaimed the best team in the NFL, the best offense in the NFL, but they can't beat nobody good. I'm not hearing it. Like, we gave Miami praise. We gave our quarter season takes, but they've definitely slowed down. They play good teams and they lose. And I just don't like what I've seen out of Miami lately. I mean, hopefully they can pick it back up when they get A-Chain back. I know their offensive line is they're getting some pieces back, but this wasn't good showing by Miami. They went down earlier. They couldn't get back in it. They got close to it, but they couldn't finish on the last drive. And then for the Chiefs, Mahomes had an efficient game, but it wasn't like nothing really too crazy. Like, it was very efficient. I praise him. I like Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in the league, without a doubt. But when Travis Kelce got shut down for only 3 catches for 14 yards, something's wrong. That Miami defense definitely schemed up something right.
Travis ain't do nothing, bro.
Yeah, he gave you 1 point on fantasy.
He killed me.
I mean,
yeah, like your leading receiver was Noah Gray. That's the team's like second or third string like tight end. Like,
bro, efficiently they did it.
The issues as well is if
they did have a bad
Travis
second half,
Kelce, they got to find somebody else that can step up.
Bad second half.
Issue is, if Travis Kelce's not playing a good game, they got to find somebody else that can step up.
Honestly, yeah. And the Miami defense, they pretty much had an answer for Travis Kelce. Now, Steve Spagnuolo definitely had an answer for Tyreek Hill as well. Don't get me wrong, he shut Tyreek down. But honestly, all in all, I just know that Miami can't beat a good team. So come playoff time, if they can't continue to beat these good teams, they'll be out by first or second round, respectfully. All right, on to the next one. We saw an NFC East showdown that went down to the wire as the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys 28-23.
As somebody that's living in Dallas right now, y'all know I love that. That was great for me, man, I went to work today and I got to dance in front of all my coworkers. That was lit. But look, to the game, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna start off with Dallas, bro. First off, Dak continues to do what Dak does against the Eagles. I'm gonna be honest with you. He gives you another 375 with 3 touchdowns, no picks, efficient as hell. He never really played a bad game. No, he's not Dak from what 2015, 2017. No, he's not that Dak. He's not gonna run. Yeah, he's not gonna run and give you those extra yards that he would on his legs. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, I hear a lot of Dallas fans right now. They mad about him not getting that 2-point conversion and all this other stuff. Man, look, y'all know the man can't run no more. Like plain and simple, that's just what it is. Like he's not that type of quarterback no more. But he did it with his arms. CeeDee Lamb gave you another game. He also is one to really have pretty good games against the Eagles. They did something that they usually do, but I'm going to be honest with you. The only edge the Eagles had over this game was it was pure mouth football, and it was one up front. I'm going to be honest with you. It was one up front. The Eagles D-line just played a little bit better than the Cowboys D-line, and they both played great. I'm going to be honest, this was more of a defensive game than I thought it was going to be. And they really didn't let Hurts really get into his element. He couldn't really run too much. Everybody want to talk about the knee. The knee was bad.
One leg.
The knee was The knee was the issue, bro. But he's still in the game, bro.
He's guess what? He's still okay. I'll wait till I go.
Be honest, yeah, but still, bro, that was still a problem. They were still putting pressures on him, bro. And at the end of the day, it was a great game by both teams. The Eagles came up on top on Finn. They almost folded. They almost folded late in the game. They almost let them get it. And shoot, if Dak did get that 2-point conversion, and it would have most likely went into overtime. But this is what you get out of NFC East matchup, especially when it's the two best teams like that in the NFC East. I love to see it. It was a great game, but you know who came up on top.
I'll put it like this. The Eagles was very fortunate to come away with this one at the end of the day. When you really look at the game and how it went down. They did play a good game, don't get me wrong. But when you look at it, they put the ball on the turf 3 times. They was fortunate enough to come up with all 3 of those. There was a 4th down, catch. He was very short. It was the 2-point conversion when he stepped out short. This is a game of inches in every day and every facet of the game. But essentially Dallas was getting whatever they wanted for most of this game. What's the face for? Am I wrong? Am I lying about any of that? Y'all had 3 fumbles. Y'all just happened to recover all 3. Did y'all not? Huh, they won? Huh?
I mean, yeah, you're right, bro.
Listen, y'all had 3 fumbles.
I'm not saying nothing. Okay, bro, I got you, bro. I get it. I get it, bro.
With a minute left, get all the way down the field. Granted, they got backed up by some penalties, but that's recipe to lose. Like,
okay, look.
In certain situations,
do me a favor. Do me a favor. Raise your right hand.
What's up?
Raise your right hand.
What's up?
Repeat after me. I, Khalil Smith.
No, what?
Am officially an Eagles hater.
How
you can never give the Eagles credit. You can never give the Eagles credit. Literally never. You are an Eagles hater. You're not.
How?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, bro. This is a game. Like I just said, this is a game of inches. Dallas had so many opportunities to win this game. Y'all literally was giving them opportunities to win this game. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Y'all very fortunate to get away because of the opportunities that y'all was trying to give them. Y'all put the ball on the ground 3 times. Dallas did not put the ball on the ground at all. There was a 4th down where he stepped out. If he didn't step out, guess what? They don't have to go for it. And he probably kicked a field goal, tie the game up. Listen, y'all almost fumbled the 3rd down. Y'all was fortunate to get that back. You're like, do you not see what I mean? When y'all was very fortunate in these situations. Granted, y'all had a very good 3rd quarter. That was pretty much the difference maker there. But when you look at y'all defense could not stop anybody. That went for 374. CD went for 191. I'm tired of people talking about Devontae Smith better than CD. I ain't see Devontae Smith do nothing like this. Cook y'all DBs. Your boy Bradbury, you call him
CeeDee's
top
really
10.
pretty much the only like top
CD was
top
cooking
10
everybody.
receiver on the East.
Whoever wanted to step up was getting it.
Yeah.
Eli Ricks,
Slay was
He's cooking
not
everybody.
getting it. Stop.
Don't
Slay did
start,
not get it,
start
bro.
me with the top
Relax.
10 edge rusher either. Boy, I swear to God, y'all should have filed a police
He
report.
made a play late game. What you
Y'all should
mean? My
put a
boy,
police
my boy
report
made a
on
play
Smith.
late
Micah
game.
Parsons had only half of a sack.
Huh? Against
Micah Parsons only
Terrence
half of a
Hill.
sack.
When he lined up on that right side,
Micah Parsons had half of a sack.
yeah,
That's your best edge rusher.
He had 1.5 sacks. He had 1.5.
He had a
Look
half
at
of
it.
a sack.
No, he
All
had
right, bro.
1.5. Look at it. Search it up.
Okay.
Search
I
it
got
up.
you.
Yeah, 1.5 sacks.
I got you, bro. I got you.
What are you talking about, bro?
Raise your right hand, bro, and just repeat after me. I promise we can get
Bro,
this done.
I picked it. Did I not pick the Eagles to win this game? They did exactly what I thought they was gonna do.
But even when we win, you don't give it credit, bro. I got you, bro.
Go ahead, then. Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say. Go ahead.
I just don't get it, bro. Yes, the Eagles and the Cowboys, this is going to be a showdown. It's an NFC East rivalry that always goes down to the wire. Sometimes one team has the upper hand and they beat the other team up more, but this game really went down to the wire. Yes, Dak is great against the Eagles. I'm not going to lie. He kills the Eagles with his arm for some reason. I don't get how, but he kills the Eagles with his arm. CD almost had 200 yards receiving. Yes, he was getting it in the slot. He had Eli Ricks all over the place. Bradbury, he's James Bradbury. I ranked him top 10. Only off of his second team All-Pro last year.
Cooked.
Okay, cool. Whatever. It happens. Now, I don't care. I'm tired of hearing refs versus Cowboys. The Eagles
I didn't even mention there was some bad calls in that game too, but I ain't mention those.
Okay. It was bad calls on both teams because that roughing the passer on Hassan Reddick on the last drive was not a roughing the passer.
I didn't mention it.
But you mentioned that they pick up the flag where freaking Michael Gallup barely got tapped in the face or he got tapped in the chest and his head went back. The ref picked up the flag. You said the ref must be on payroll.
Mr. Receiver, sir. Did you or did you not say that was hands to the face?
Bro,
Mr. Receiver, sir.
He didn't even touch him. He barely touched his chest.
Me into
Mr. Receiver, sir.
Man, what I said was, let me clarify that. What I said was, it was very close, but the movement of the helmet down is what gave it up.
He said it, but I'm a hater when I say it. That's crazy.
Because you always hate, bro. But
It
whatever,
was a close
man.
call. All right, hold on. This go. Hey, Lil, let me ask you a very important question.
What's up?
Who the best team in the league right now?
The Eagles. They ain't won.
We get into that. We get into that. Hold on. We get into that. We're getting to that. We're getting to that.
If they keep playing like this, they will get beat when it matters.
Oh, just like the Dolphins, your best team in the NFL.
They're not.
Okay, now they're not to you. Let me just continue. Also, what you said a couple weeks ago, that Jalen Hurts is a flawed passer. The run game wasn't even going this game. And Jalen Hurts had a very efficient, good game throwing the ball.
He didn't do
He
nothing
did.
so crazy. He had 200 yards passing.
Okay, Mahomes at 185, but you just glorified that.
No, I did not. I did not just say he had to be better.
You say he had to be better, but you said it's Mahomes. I'm not going to say nothing about that.
No,
But when Jalen Hurts, it's nothing
I literally
crazy.
said he has to be better. But I said I'm not worried about the offense because it's Mahomes. I know he will be better.
Anyway, man, Eagles going to win at the end of the day, 28-23. It don't matter. The Eagles are literally 8-1. They're number one in NFC. They're number one in the NFL. Moving on to the next game.
So you feel confident about that one?
About that one, it's a divisional game. I'm like it went down to the wire. The Eagles were giving up on the last drive.
Said y'all got to be better. Your own quarterback know that was good enough.
That means the Chiefs got to be better then, because they haven't been playing that good. They only had like 2 dominant wins this whole year.
Did I not say they got to be better?
Bro.
So what are you talking about? Just because you win doesn't mean you don't have to be better.
I never said they don't got to be better. I just said the secondary got cooked. See how this day.
Smoked.
Okay, bro. We know that. We saw the same game. Yes, it happened. But at the end of the day, who got the win when it really mattered?
I get that. Y'all got the win.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
How many games y'all gonna put the ball on the ground 3 times and recover all 3 fumbles, and the other team not turn the ball over, and the other quarterback throws?
It doesn't happen often. We get it.
370.
We get it. We get it. It doesn't happen often, but still.
Y'all let
I'm
Sam
gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Lil. The only other team that's honestly probably stacking up with us right now that's left on our schedule is the Chiefs. I'm not worried about the 49ers, and I'm damn sure not worried about the Bills.
Y'all, you better be worried. They're still good football teams.
They're good football teams.
No, they're good.
Especially their defense. They're good.
It's the NFL.
Listen.
It's anybody game. But I'm just saying, though, like,
here's the thing with the Eagles. If you can block the front, they can be had. If you can block that front, That secondary can be had. What happened? They blocked that front and that cut them up. So if that's any team, if you could block that
Yeah,
front,
I mean,
you could do
Sam
that.
Howell put 374 on us too. So I mean,
You're not
I'm not
wrong.
gonna
I'm
say
just
nothing about
saying.
that. I've been saying that off rip for a
Yeah.
minute that our pass game is pretty bad.
On to the next game. We saw an AFC showdown as Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they defeated Buffalo Bills 24-18.
I'm gonna start with the Bills. What a frustrating loss for the Bills. I'm gonna be honest, and again, it goes to show exactly what I've been saying about them since before the season even started. They was my most hyped team, and now it's just going into the season, and it just shows this is a roller coaster of a team. This is a team that when they want to play good, they play great, and when they don't play that good. I mean, come on, bro. And I know you're gonna bring it up, Day, so I'm gonna let you bring it up. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But Josh Allen also has 9 picks on the season. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let you go more in the depth, Day, because I know you've been feeling to talk about this one. But to the Bengals, I like what I got out of Joe Burrow. He showed some flashes of what we seen back in 2021, back when he was that guy. And I mean, he continued to play this way. If he could play this way consistently and keep going, the Bengals actually still have a shot in their division. Their division is still super competitive. It's not over yet in that division. There's a lot of other divisions that it's over with, and that is one that is super competitive still. They have a shot if they could keep this rolling. And if Joe Burrow keeps playing the way he's playing, they're going to keep that going. T. Higgins, we finally got a sighting out of him. We barely seen him all season. He gave us 110. I mean, this is the type of stuff that we're used to seeing from the Bengals. And if they play like this, they're still going to be a team to be reckoned with. And I'm not going to lie, we seen it last year too, and the season before that. They are a late rising team, bro. Late in the season is when the Bengals start to straighten up. Around this time of the year is when they start to get it figuring out. And I mean, I'm hoping to see some more competitive nature out of them.
I think when it comes to the Bills, they number one issue, they don't run a football. James Cook had 6 touches. Latavius Murray had 2.
Not enough.
Josh Allen had 8. It's you can't win like that.
That's too much.
You cannot win like that. Why are you the quarterback leading your team in rushing with 8 touches?
Yep.
Your number one running back only had 6. And part of the issue is Josh Allen keep pulling the football in these RPOs. Run a damn football. Like, why? Bro, it's an RPO, but they say they call it PRO because he passes more than he runs. That's an issue. There's no variation to the offense, and it gets Josh Allen in trouble too much because I think you gave him too much freedom in the offense. You gave him too much ability to call his number, and he's calling his number every single time. And sometimes, yes, it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it's just not good football. You can't win without being balanced, especially getting later in the year. It's starting to get cold outside. The ball doesn't spin as well as it does in September. You gotta establish a run game, and that's where it kind of killed them. Now you're playing from behind. Now you don't have no variation on an offense. Now them DBs can sit back knowing that you got to pass the football, and that's what it really came down to with this Buffalo team. And with Josh Allen, he went 258, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It looks decent, but he has to be better. Just for the simple fact that it's all on you. It's all on you at the end of the day. When if you play good, they win. If you play bad, they're going to lose. And that's exactly what it came down to. Now, for the other hand, on the Bengals, Joe Burrow is finally healthy. We finally seen him healthy coming off the bye. And he looks like the Joe Burrow we've known him from seeing, not the Joe Burrow from early in the season. They took away Jamar Chase in this game, but it's good to have another number 1 receiver, and that's what they have in T. Higgins. And he showed up and showed out as he should have with 8 catches and 110. And they pretty much got out to an early lead and never really looked back. This is another team, they put up 21 in the first half. That pretty much helped them seal the deal. They got a field goal in the fourth quarter, but, for most of that game, it felt like it was over by halftime.
Let me start off with Cincinnati. Let me get the good team out the way. This is what I feared. Not even feared in a bad way. I literally wanted to get rolling and get their footing, and that's what happened. That's literally exactly what happened. Joe Burrow is now healthy. He looks like the Joe Burrow we know since his rookie year. And this is just phenomenal. I love this Bengals offense. I like to see what they're doing. They're looking great. Joe Burrow had a very good game. T. Higgins, he stepped up, had a great game when they shut Jamar Chase down. T. Higgins is in for a big payday this upcoming offseason because the Bengals not going to have the money to re-sign him. Let's be real. But this Bengals team, they also got to put more up in the second half. They were kind of non-existent in the second half. The first half, they got all their points and everything pretty much, except for the 3 in the fourth quarter. If the season ended today, every team in that division will be in the playoffs. That's crazy to see how the Bengals started, and now they're pretty much up there with Baltimore in their second in that division. But on to the Buffalo Bills. And I've said the Bills were overrated going into the year. I've been saying they were overrated the past couple years. I'm not even going to talk about Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid. They had great games receiving. You got to give James Cook the ball more. I 100% agree with that. That Bills defense, they were really in the first half, not really too good. The second half, they stepped up big time. But let's all talk about the biggest issue on this team. I want to say the biggest issue on this team from this game is Josh Allen. Yes, Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in this league. He's not top 3 no more. I got him at top 5. He's barely top 5. Don't care what none of y'all say. In my opinion, Josh Allen is a modern-day Brett Favre. Like, he'll put up great numbers. He'll throw the ball. He has a strong arm. He'll launch it. But when it comes to turning the ball over, he does it a lot. And I know you're going to bring up, oh, yes, Jalen Hurts got a lot of picks as well. You're going to bring up other players, Mahomes picks. But if this was Dak Prescott throwing all these picks and turning the ball over, we will be talking about it. So let's do the same thing we do to Dak. Let's do it to Josh Allen.
That'd be y'all. That'd be y'all. Especially Dennis.
No, especially Dennis. Hey, that's Dino, not me. But
Dino,
the Dak Prescott hate.
what?
You talk about Dak's interception. All he do is throw picks and fold the games. Josh Allen do the same thing. Josh Allen do the same thing. But I mean, Josh Allen, he still lost yesterday. Continuing. Josh Allen, everybody's talking about, oh, he's leading league in fantasy points and he has a number 1 ranked QBR in the NFL, but he's a folder. Like I always thought Josh Allen was type overrated. Like people say they put him in that elite category because of what happened in the 2021 divisional round against Patrick Mahomes. He was 19 seconds away from beating Mahomes. Too bad it didn't happen. After that, he has not looked the same. He has not looked that great. So please stop considering Josh Allen elite. I'm putting that to bed. I don't care what y'all say. Argue with your mama.
He's elite. Here's the thing: you know what you're going to get from him. The highs are the highs, but his lows are lows too. Like, you know what Josh Allen is at this point, and you'd be fooling yourself to think differently. I think that's the thing where people get misconstrued. Like, Josh Allen at his best is elite, but he does a lot of dumb stuff that costs him games like this.
All right, on to the next one. We saw a game that went down to the wire. We saw a game that went down to the wire. It was a thriller. Rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud put y'all on notice. I'm just letting y'all know as he led his Houston Texans to a 39-37 win with a last-second touchdown.
I'm gonna start with really Tampa Bay, man. Coming into this game, I thought Tampa Bay was probably gonna get it done. I'm gonna be honest with you, but they actually did play pretty good. They played a pretty good game. I mean, and it wasn't the worst. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty boring first half. First half of the game really wasn't too amusing to watch. But that second half, bro, when they came out that locker room, both Houston and Tampa Bay, it just seemed like they turned up a gear and wanted to come out and play. You see big plays on both ends of the ball. And it mainly was just Houston getting back to the game. I'm not gonna lie, Tampa Bay was leading this game for most of the game. And then CJ just started turning up. CJ went from having 180 yards in the first half passing to ending that game with 470 yards. I mean, that's something that you need out of a rookie first-round quarterback that you bring in, looking like the best quarterback in the draft and the safest choice right now. Nico Collins also had him a touchdown. Noah Brown had him 150 yards. Man, look, when you could dish the ball around with that quarterback, and look, all they need is a running game, and this offense is going to be top tier. I'm going to be honest with you. They get a running game, and they get some receivers that are actually quality. I mean, I like Tank Dell. I like what they got. I think they got a nice, young supporting cast around him right now, but you get some quality, number one, some quality receivers in there, like who we just talked about, like a T. Higgins. You bring in somebody like that, bro, this offense is going to explode. I'm going to be honest with you. Houston, we look at them as a mid-tier team, but this is a team that I see getting better each week. I'm gonna be honest with you, and if they can keep their quarterback rolling like that, they got a bright future.
Yeah. First of all, y'all boys know who first in the NFC South, right? Just had to throw that out there. This niggas been
All for
talking crazy
losses,
all
not
year.
wins.
Niggas been talking crazy all year. We get it done how we get it done. We get there how we get
Y'all
there.
also the worst division in the league right now.
We get there how we get there. I don't
Honestly.
want to hear none of it. I don't want to hear none of it. We get there how we
Y'all,
get
y'all the worst division in the league right
And
now.
y'all get, and if it's easy to say, y'all get smacked in the first round of the playoffs.
Y'all gonna be
So,
an eighth
move
seed.
on.
Yeah. I hear y'all. Anyway, they honestly both quarterbacks played pretty good in this game. Baker was efficient, 21 for 30, 265, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rashad White also sold up with 73 rushing yards and 2 tutties to help him go along with it. But I mean, when you look at CJ Stroud, he's been phenomenal. He's been better than a lot of people expected, better than I expected. Personally, he went for over 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He pretty much got whatever he wanted in that second half. I mean, Tampa defense couldn't stop him at all. And I praise him at the same time, but also put a lot of blame on that defense. That defense was terrible in the second half. You give up 29 points in the second half alone. That's a recipe to get beat. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just piss poor. But CJ just takes what's given to him. His receivers show up. I like his receiving receivers that he has. Very young receiving cast with Noah Brown, Tank Down, Nico Collins, John Mechie, who's still trying to get his footing back after dealing with what he was dealing with. Dalton Schultz also had a big game this game with 130 yards. He was a major pickup in all season, one of the better tight ends in the league. But I mean, when you look at this Texas team is scrappy. I still don't think they're there yet. As you can see, they did get 37 points put on them by Baker and that offense, who has been very up and down, But they're a team I think that's going to spoil a lot of teams' playoff chances. I don't think they're getting the playoffs this year, but they're going to be one of them spoilers that's going to kick a lot of teams out the playoffs this year. But it was a good win and a good showing for CJ Stroud.
Let me start off with the Buccaneers. Baker had a really efficient game, not gonna lie. Y'all know I'm not the biggest fan. I know I'm not the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield, but I'm a Baker hater. 25. I'm not a Baker hater. He's just not a winner like y'all say he is. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, here we go.
Stop. Don't start with me, please. Don't start with me. I will bash Baker Mayfield all day on this platform. Y'all know my list of quarterbacks that's on my crap list. I don't care. I would dog them all. Pause. But
hey, man, nah, that's mad crazy.
Chill out. But Baker, 21 for 30, 265, and 2 touchdowns. You know that Cade Otton really stepped up and helped him out. Rashad White helped him out run the ball as well with them 2 touchdowns on the ground. I thought it was over when Baker got that last couple when he got the last drive a touchdown to Cade Otton. I thought it was over. But CJ Stroud, he didn't need that much time. He went down the field and lit it up. Speaking of CJ Stroud, almost 500 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. That's crazy. He had Noah Brown in the hundreds. He had Dalton Schultz in the hundreds for receiving. He had Tank Down in the hundreds for receiving. Nico Collins had a touchdown in the air as well. So it's like, bro, see, like CJ Stroud, you can argue he's a top 10 quarterback right now. You can literally argue he's a top 10 quarterback. He's definitely in the lead for rookie of the year offensively. And it's like, bro, like, this is amazing to see that this young Texans team led by a Houston head coach, what?
What happened to your boy Puka?
That wasn't me. Relax. That was Dennis. Back to me. CJ Stroud is definitely in lead for offensive rookie year. And this is phenomenal to see with D'Amico Ryans as a new head coach, got his rookie quarterback, this very young team. They need help on defense, though. D'Amico, get that right, please. But Houston's looking real bright for the future. I think in a couple of years, they definitely gonna be running AFC South for years to come. It's gonna be a battle though with T-Law, Anthony Richardson when he comes back, Will Levis when he takes the job going forward, and CJ Stroud. This is going to be a solid division. All right, moving on to the next game. We saw the Baltimore Ravens. They trounced the Seattle Seahawks 37-3.
Now, I'm going to be honest. Do not let this score fool you. This was not a very good game by either team. I'm going to be honest with you. Defensively, Baltimore played great, and that's what you could give it on. You could give it on their defense, but I say this is more of a special teams game, a field position game, and Seattle just shooting themselves in the foot every time they got an offense. Seattle's offense played so bad this week. Oh my God. It seemed like Gino wrote back. He had a QBR of 14. He threw a nasty pick. They couldn't get not a single thing in the run game going. They had 25 yards rushing on the whole game. Their number one receiver was their first round rookie, and he only had 68 yards. There was nothing going on offense for them. Baltimore's defense pretty much shut that down the whole game. And offensively, Lamar couldn't get nothing going either. He barely did anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. He did have some late touchdowns. He had a late touchdown to Odell, but
Birthday boy.
all of that was off of field position. All of that was off of field position. That I'm gonna be honest, they barely could move the ball. There was nothing really going for either team. I mean, Lamar had a pretty solid game rushing, but other than that, I mean, throwing the ball wasn't really there either. Like I said, don't let this score really fool you. This wasn't the best performance by either team, but again, they got the job done. They got it done in what looks to be like a blowout win. Or it is a blowout win.
Not gonna lie. I am not as sold on Baltimore as everybody else at this point. I'm being honest with you. Yes, they're
You know
playing.
what I'm saying?
They're playing good football right now. That's a test to the defense. That defense is balling right now. Everybody on that defense is making plays. They're just always in the right position when the time comes to make plays. They make quarterbacks uncomfortable. They have 4 total sacks on the day. Gino just was very uncomfortable. He had a fumble. He lost it as well. But when you look at like the offense, this offense is not exactly as high powered as advertised coming into the season. Lamar, he has 9 turnovers, I think, on a year now. He fumbled twice, lost one of them in this game alone. So he has to be better in that aspect. He was efficient, 21 for 26, 187, no touchdown passes, no interceptions, but he did have 2 fumbles, 1 fumble lost. So you got to clean that up. You got a contribution from Keaton Mitchell, 138 yards on the ground, so that was a very efficient. But as well, looking at the Seahawks team, the Seahawks offense just can't get going either. They couldn't really get nothing in the run game. They had 28 total rushing yards on 15 carries, which is just not going to get it done. Their longest run was 6 yards. JNS had a solid game with 6 for 63, but your 2-star receivers, DK only gave you 1 catch for 50 yards. That's not going to get it done. Tyler Lockett only gave you 3 catches for 32 yards. That's not going to get it done either. So I think, like Dennis mentioned, don't let the score fool you. It was more of a field position game than anything. But, if you look at the box score, it looked like, Baltimore went in there and trounced them. But it was just some very, very good defensive play for both teams, mainly the Seahawks. I mean, mainly the Ravens. Ravens defense has been balling. And, Seahawks just need to be better if they're going to, compete. And, they got a chance to win the division now. Both San Francisco and Seahawks got 3 losses, so they need to tighten it up if they're going to try to win this division.
Yeah, honestly, nothing too much to say on this game because I was really going to say the same thing. They blew them out, but they really had good field position all game, and their defense really did most of the work for this Ravens team. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Lamar. He had an okay game, but he didn't throw a touchdown, but he passed the ball efficiently. He threw for under 200 yards, but still passed the ball efficiently. It was really the run game that worked for Baltimore. 298 total yards rushing, especially from Keaton Mitchell and Gus Edwards. Good job. They had 3 touchdowns combined. And the OBJ birthday boy, he got a touchdown reception. Love to see him put over at least 3 to 5 fantasy points finally in a while. But on to Seattle, the offense was just bad. And like you mentioned, you need your 2 receivers to step up, your 2 top receivers in Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They got to do more than that. But JSN had a solid game, rookie receiver. But the Seahawks offense just looked really bad. And Baltimore defense was just really that good. I'm not going to lie. Baltimore defense is like the saving grace for this football team. That's the reason why the Ravens are where they are right now. But, defense wins championships. So we'll see if Baltimore can continue this momentum going forward. All right, last game we're going to cover. The Minnesota Vikings, they defeated the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 31-28. Josh Dobbs been on the team for less than a week. The rocket scientist, he comes in and wins this game for the Vikings.
I mean, I'm going to start off with Atlanta. Taylor Heineke. I mean, there's not really much to say about Taylor Heineke. He is who he is. I say he played exactly how you really expect him to play. He gave you 1 touchdown, 1 pick, a little over 200 yards. I mean, that's Taylor Heineke for you. He's not really that guy. I feel like they really just didn't stick to their game. They had Taylor Heineke come in and they wanted to throw more passes. And that's not y'all, man. Y'all run the ball. That's what y'all do. Y'all got to run it back out by committee, running game by committee. That's what y'all get down. That's what's been winning y'all games. Y'all steered away from that. And that's what ultimately stalled y'all out late in the game. I mean, you want to talk about a team that really doesn't have much to lose right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like they don't got much to lose right now. Y'all have the worst division in football. I mean, you could talk about trying to take that away from the Saints, but the way the rest of the Saints schedule it looked like they probably gonna run away with that division. So bro, y'all gotta shake something up. Y'all gotta do something. I mean, I would tell y'all to stick to what y'all been doing, but if y'all want to stick to that, that's not what's going to register. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, who is honestly very impressive if you ask me, you needed a full team win to do that, and that's what they did. Josh Dobbs, man, second half, he really came out to ball. He came out to ball as soon as he stepped on the field. Looked like he had something to prove. Looked like he wanted to win a starting job or something, bro. He came out there and he balled. He did his thing. He rushed the ball efficiently too. He had 7 rushes for 68 yards. That's pretty good. And we've seen a couple of them rushes where he really made something out of nothing, and that's what you need from a quarterback that can run. He used damn near every single one of his receivers, and that's something else you got to do when you don't have the best receiver on the field right now. So, I mean, he did what he did to come out and get that win. Minus the fumbles, that was a pretty solid game from Josh Dobbs, even though he didn't start the game. I really want to see what he's going to do with this offense moving forward.
Yeah, kind of like you mentioned, I started off with Atlanta. And I mentioned again the Saints are #1 in the division, so I'm feeling good today.
All right. With y'all
Man,
cupcake ass schedule that y'all like
stop
for
hating.
right
Stop hating.
now.
Stop hating. Okay, stop hating.
When the Eagles had a cupcake schedule last year. Hold on. When the Eagles had a cupcake schedule last year. When the Eagles had a cupcake schedule last year, oh yeah, easiest schedule in the NFL. Easiest schedule in the NFL.
But we didn't have a cupcake schedule last year.
Apparently, everybody else we did.
Bro, we hit. Come all right.
Stop hating. Anyway.
I hate him.
Anyway, I'll start with the Falcons. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with trying to give Taylor Heineke 38 pass attempts. He was 21 for 38, 1 touchdown, one interception. That's just not the recipe. That's not how your team is built. At the end of the day, you did draft the first round running back. You do have a very good running back in Tyler Algier. You do have a very good gadget guy in Cordell Patterson, who only touched the ball twice, once in a running game, one in a pass game. That's just not going to get it done. And when you look at, your leading receivers is Jonnu Smith, Kadero Hodges. That's your 2 leading receivers. That's also just not going to get it done. You got to use your playmakers. You got to use Kyle Pitts to his best. You got to utilize Bijan Robinson in the pass game. He only had 2 catches for 8 yards. That's just not going to get it done either. And I really put it on the Falcons defense, because you let a guy who's only been there for 5 days go out there and beat you, lead a game-winning drive down the field to go out there and beat you. And this is a guy who essentially did not know the offense or the playbook. He had to stay up late just to study. He wasn't even supposed to play in this game. Jaron Hall went down with a concussion. Hopefully he's okay. But, and I've been saying this all year. I was saying this in Arizona. They were scrappy, and part of the reason why they were scrappy was because of Joshua Dobbs and that defensive coordinator. I mean, that head coach. Whatever, Dawan don't like him, whatever, but I think he's a pretty solid coach. He has those guys ready to play. And Joshua Dobbs, he comes out there, he gives you all that he has. I'm gonna get to you later, but he gives you all that he has, and that's all you can ask for a guy that's only been there for less than a week, who's not really familiar with these guys. And the playmakers do what they got to do to help them, be as comfortable as possible within that offense. But he really got it done with his legs late, and I think that was the deciding factor. They couldn't stop him from scrambling, and that's what helped him win the game. Good win for Minnesota. Minnesota's still in the thick of things. They have a chance to, make the playoffs. We'll see what happens there. But, I think it was a good one for Minnesota, and Falcons need to clean some things up if they want to, get a chance in the playoffs.
Just like y'all did, I'm gonna start with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna just say, like, yes, Taylor Heineke. I've been wanting him to start over Desmond Ritter. I think Heineke, just for right now, will be better for Ritter. Ritter has not played that good this year. I know he's gonna have his growing pains as a year 2 quarterback. But why you got this man Taylor Heineke throwing the ball 38 times? You have a 3 running back by committee duo. You have your first round pick at B. John Robinson, who I don't even know why y'all drafted him at this point. The guy he hasn't hit over a 150, I think 150 or 120 this year at all. And Tyler Algier, he rushed for 1,000 yards last year. He's not looking too good running the ball with. And then Cordero Patterson, a gadget player, you're not even utilizing him right. So what is Atlanta coaching staff doing? Like, they don't know how to utilize their players. And you got Kyle Pitts. He's only getting freaking 4 catches. Like, bro, what in the world is going on?
Bijan Robinson averages 9 rushes.
Exactly. And it's like Jonnu Smith and Kadero Hodge, your leading receivers. That's not going to get it done. And honestly, Atlanta defense, y'all kind of folded last 2 weeks. Y'all were a top 10 defense. Last 2 weeks, y'all have not looked like a top 10 defense at all. Last week with Tennessee, this week with Josh freaking Dobbs, who's been on the team for at least like 6 days. He came in after Jaron Hall went down with a concussion and beat y'all with his legs. And it's not like Josh Dobbs is a fancy or a scrappy quarterback. He's just resilient. And the man is naturally smart. He's a freaking rocket scientist. And he had to study the playbook hard, like Khalil said, and he came in and beat y'all. This is piss poor by Atlanta. Not gonna lie, they are in a fight with the Saints now. You already let the Saints claw back into this division. That is the worst division in the NFL. But at the end of the day, Atlanta, y'all got to clean some things up. If y'all want to, honestly, Atlanta got to clean some things up if they want to try to fight and get the playoffs. No one's hating, bro.
I don't want Harry. Y'all almost lost to a D2 quarterback.
Niggas be hating. We ain't almost lose.
All right, let's stick with the NFL now. Let's give our half-season takes. So, honestly, my half-season takes, I'm going to start off. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are back. This is not an overreaction. I think they're back. They won multiple games in a row straight. Joe Burrow looks healthy. This offense looks good. The Bengals just got to clean up a little bit on defense, but the Bengals have had some statement wins against some good teams, and they're rolling. They are now fighting with the Ravens in the AFC North, and that whole division is stacked. Again, just like I said, when we did our preseason rankings for the toughest divisions, the AFC North is looking like the best and strongest division in this NFL league right now. So that's my first take. My second take, again, speaking on Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen, he's good, but he's really, really good. I don't think he's elite anymore. I think he's a modern-day Brett Favre. He's going to put up numbers. He's right now leading in fantasy player points. He has number 1 rating in the NFL, but when it matters, he has his lows are just bad to watch. I don't like watching it. But I think this Bills team goes as far as Josh Allen goes. I mean, you have good receivers around you. The defense is very, very good. But you got to start utilizing the run game more, and Josh Allen has to be better decision-making. I think it's really Brian Daboll when he left that Josh Allen started going downhill. But, hey, that's just me. And my last take, the Eagles, even with all the lackluster play sometimes and turnovers and being down in games, the Eagles are still the best team in the NFL as we speak right now. They're 8-1. Jalen Hurts played really efficiently throwing the football ever since that loss against the Jets. The defense, they have their lows still, but when they step up when it matters. And honestly, that's really all I gotta say.
See, I like all of yours. I'm gonna be honest. All of those takes was pretty valid. Especially the one with the Bills. That was one of mine. I thought that was a little too hot for right now, but I mean, I said the Bills, the Bengals, I meant. But I mean, yeah, you do make a point. Couple of my biggest takes I got 4 big ones. I'm gonna be honest with you. And for one, I'm gonna bring up CJ Stroud again. He's definitely a top 10 quarterback in the league right now, hands down. Yeah, he is. He is. But it's quarterbacks that he's playing better than that has way better weapons than he do, bro.
That's facts.
Josh Allen is one of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. Josh Allen is one.
You think he's better than Josh Allen?
No, I didn't say no.
He's better than him.
He's saying he has better weapons. He's saying Josh Allen got better weapons.
Better than him. He's playing better than Josh Allen.
Yes,
I don't think he's better than Josh Allen. What?
Yes.
Better than him? Nah, not yet.
Better. He's playing better than him right now as we speak.
He's playing better than him.
Let's be real though. Besides Stephon Diggs, what other weapon is like Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid is rookie, Dawson Knox is out. They don't use James Cook. Like it's not like he got the Bengals.
When you are considered an elite quarterback, top 3, you make stuff happen. He doesn't make it happen outside of Stephon Diggs. Argue with your mama. Modern day Brett Favre.
Here's what I'm saying, bro.
Stephon Diggs, he
Here's
makes
what
it happen with who he got.
What would happen if CJ Stroud had Stephon Diggs?
Oh, they would have blew the Buccaneers out. It would not have been a close game.
You don't think that would be any difference at all?
I can't say that. I cannot say that.
I don't know, man. I'm going to stand on that, though. CJ Stroud is a top 10 quarterback right now. And, I mean, this type of production, if he keeps moving forward, he'll jump into that top 5 real quick. I'm going to be honest with you. Why are you looking like that, bro? Like Joe Burrow wasn't the second best quarterback in the league his second year. What are you talking about?
5 is mad. Joe Burrow also went to the Super Bowl, bro.
Joe Burrow also had a great team. What do you mean? Like
a great offense.
Yeah, that defense was trash, but yeah,
offensive line was terrible. Like, come on,
offensive line was horrible.
Come on,
yo, bro. I bet, yo, if Houston was to trade for Jackson Smith right now, and get another
Is he done in the league, bro?
Here we go. The Ohio State BS, man. Keep going, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
no.
I'm only comparing. I'm comparing what Joe Burrow has in Cincinnati right now. He has the same receiver that he's been throwing to. That's what I'm saying. I'm comparing that. They both had great seasons that year that they went. Y'all forgetting that they was both two of the top offensive players in the season. Second one, it's another player one. AJ Brown is the second best receiver in the league right now, and that's hands down.
He is.
That's
what
hands
is you
down.
making that pay for?
That's hands down. You're just a hater.
He's a hater. I told y'all. That's what I said. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me,
hater,
please.
Bro. If AJ Brown was
Eagles
doing
hater.
If AJ Brown was doing the things that he's doing right now on Dallas, you would be on his nuts.
Oh yeah,
he would be the best receiver in the league right now.
Yes, you would. Don't argue him. Don't just keep going. Don't argue him.
In his eyes, CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver.
Never said that, but all right, keep going. I just said he better than Devontae Smith.
Like I said, going in this year right now, I had AJ Brown ranked as number 7 going into the season. He's jumped up tremendously with his consistency of play. I mean, he's done something that's never been done. 6 straight with 125. He just had his first game in 7 weeks that he didn't have over 100. I mean, that is crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. And the only person that has better stats than him right now in the league and has been producing more is the number 1 player, the number 1 receiver in the league, and that's Tyreek Hill. Other than that, AJ Brown has shown for a fact that he's the number 2 receiver in the league.
Like, did he retire?
For a fact.
Missed that. I ain't know 18 retired, but keep going.
How could you be better
reserve last 3 weeks
on the field? How could you be better than somebody when you're not on the field, bro?
Because he's like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my boy is.
Keep going, bro. Ignore him. Just keep going, bro.
My boy at home on the couch catching one-handed passes right now for touchdowns. Like what? Come on. I didn't say. I said right now, bro. As long as he's hurt, I'm gonna be honest, bro. This season is chalked up for him.
He's gonna be back.
But my biggest one, I think right now. I mean, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this one super short. The Eagles are the best team in the league, but we already knew that. That been one, but we already knew that. But my biggest one right now is the Bills is the most overrated team in the league, as I predicted before the season started. And Josh Allen is not a top 5 quarterback, and that's just the truth.
He barely hanging on number 5 for me.
I got him at 6. I'll be honest. I got him at 6. I got him right under number 5. I'm not demoting him out of nothing crazy. But I mean, it's showing, bro. Like I said, bro, you still playing with Stephon Diggs. You still playing with the arguably top 3 receiver in the league. And it is arguable that Stephon Diggs could be a top 3 receiver in the league. It's always a toss-up. And bro, like you're not producing wins right now, bro. It's crazy. His picks, his turnovers is always costly. I mean, he has 9, but even if he had less, when he turns the ball over, it's costly, bro. It's always costly. And you got to clean that type of stuff up. If you're going to have a team that runs their whole offense, literally their whole offense through you, like Baltimore does with Lamar, that's literally what the Bills are doing with him. And it's not the recipe for winning right now. I'm going to be honest with you. At least Lamar is bringing home wins. He not? You make a face like he not. He's 7-2.
He is. He's 7-2.
Yeah. So I'm saying, bro, I mean, you might still have him as a top 5 quarterback, but in my eyes, not really, bro. Not this season, at least. It's top 5 in passing yards.
My bad. Let the season play out. CJ Stroud's top 5. But anyway, my takeaways from this season. All these teams have flaws. They all have issues that they need to work out, whether it's the best team with the best record in their past defense or the Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions, in their receiving core. I think, the Detroit Lions aren't as good as everybody thinks. They have a very favorable schedule, but they're not, what this team, what everybody thinks they are. They did have a bye. They're 6-2 right now, but it's not like they have a gauntlet of a schedule to go through. So they have a pretty good, seed go playoff town. 49ers have some trouble with the quarterback. Never been high on Brock Purdy. Hopefully, they haven't been able to show that they could win a game when coming from behind. But if they get out to a big lead with all the weapons that they got, it's kind of hard to come back and beat them. So we see what happens there. A lot of these teams have been struggling up and down. I think some of my major takeaways, the race is closer than we kind of expect. When you got, Chiefs and Ravens 7-2, the Jags are 6-2, right in the thick of things. I don't think people give Jags enough credit for how well they've been playing. A lot of people like to bash Trevor Lawrence and all that, but that team is 6-2 like these other teams. So give him credit, like y'all give everybody else credit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jags is the third ranked team in the league right now in my top 5.
That's all.
The Jags is the third ranked team in my top 5.
Respectfully, I respect it. Dolphins, they had a good start to the season. Now they hit a rough patch. So we'll see what happens there. I think one of the surprises of the season so far as well is the Steelers team is 5-3. Steelers is 5-3, and they're right in the thick of things as well.
That's
the playoffs started today. Every AFC North team would be in at this moment, given time.
That's nuts.
We still have another half of the season to go. So
the Steelers are 2-0 in division too.
They are.
Exactly. So we're gonna see how that plays out and what happens there. Now for the NFC side, it's really I think it's really a 13 race. Eagles, Cowboys, and 49ers. It's just how the matchups play out, who plays who, and where they play each other. I think it will come down to the biggest factor. Because like I said, all these teams have flaws. I feel like all these teams can get got. It's just a matter, how well they play when these teams match up at the end of the season in the playoffs.
All right. Before we move off the NFL, give me y'all top 5 teams. Let's run through it right quick.
Who going first?
Go first, Devon.
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead.
But hey, I'm gonna start with my top 5. Let me get this going, man. I'm gonna give y'all the best top 5. I'm not gonna be no bias or nothing. Number 1. Oh, I'm sorry. At number 5, I got the Miami Dolphins. They've had a rough patch after the first quarter of the season. This is arguably probably the best team in the NFL, but they have definitely hit a drop off. They can't beat a good team. Tua hasn't looked that really good. Honestly, it's been really predicated off of forcing turnovers and the offense. Like, he hasn't looked good as a quarterback, in my opinion. He's looked good, but he hasn't looked that good as of late. But Tyreek Hill is still the best receiver in the NFL as we speak right now. And Dolphins they're actually getting healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Ramsey just came back. Xavier Howard came back. The offensive line is getting healthy again. But still, this team got to start getting back on a groove like they were earlier in the year. Number 4, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, they're 6-2. I respect Trevor Lawrence. I respect that team and Dougie P as well. The Jags, they've been moving. They've been having some momentum rolling. They're currently leading the AFC South. They're a good team. They just got to start being better when it comes to these games. Yes, they have wins, but they don't really have too many dominant wins, in my opinion. They're not a team that's I can guarantee a win, unless they're playing a really bad team. And even then, it's a really bad team giving them fights. Number 3, I got the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we talk about Lamar Jackson sometimes, his highs and lows as a quarterback, but his defense has definitely been a strong point for this team. They're a really good defense. I think they're probably the best defense in the NFL as we speak right now. They smash mouth a lot of football teams. Lamar, as a passer, he looks pretty good. Lamar is low key. He's sneaky in the MVP conversation. You can definitely argue that. That's Dennis's MVP prediction as he made early in the year. But the Ravens team is pretty good. This Ravens team is pretty good. You know, John Harbaugh, he had them boys ready to play every week. And as of right now, they're leading AFC North. At number 2, I got a Kansas City Chiefs. Again, this is a really good team, really well-coached team. Not well-coached. This is a really phenomenally great coached team. Best quarterback in the league, the best tight end in the league. But their receivers have been lackluster, and they don't really have – they'll have 2 dominant wins. Those against 2 bad teams. And they could be undefeated right now. I agree with Khalil. They could be undefeated. It wasn't for that week 1 loss against the Lions for receivers dropping the ball. But you can say the same thing about the number 1 team. They could be undefeated as well. But they lost to Zach Wilson and the Jets, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are still struggling on pass defense. They're a really good team, but they got to play they still have yet to play a complete game of football on all 3 phases of the game, in my opinion. But Jalen Hurts has definitely elevated himself as a passer. The run game hasn't been too, he has, stop it. He has, look at the numbers. He has, you know what? I'm done. Eagles are the best team in the NFL. I'll leave it at that.
Interceptions, my boy.
Want me to go next, Lil? Or you going next?
Three of those interceptions came in one game. Like, you talking about that happened like 4 weeks ago, bro.
It don't matter what game they came in, bro. They got the ball over every day, B.
Believe it or not, my number 5 team is gonna be the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm gonna be honest with you. They could have played against any team in the league that wasn't the Eagles. And if they played the way they played against us, they would have won that game. And I'm gonna be honest with you. They haven't had the easiest schedule, and they are 5-3. They're 1 game behind the team that I have at number 3. I'm gonna be honest with you, and bro, they're still in this race. If you want to look at who they play their next couple games, they have the Giants, they have the Panthers, they have the Commanders, they have the Seahawks, and then they have us again. They have a couple games. They literally have their next 5 games, next 4 to 5 games where they could be 4-1. And they're right back in this conversation. This isn't a bad football team, bro. All of their losses, except for the Cardinals' loss, has been to good teams. They got smacked by the 49ers, and they lost to us. I mean, the Rams got into a pretty game against them, but no, they ran away with that one. That's why I said, no, that's why I said it's an but they never ran away with that one. I mean, they had a close game with the Chargers, yeah. They're still a good football team, bro. And I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm saying this, bro. The Dallas Cowboys are still a good team. Just look at what they put us through. I mean, they took it to the wire with us. Like I said, any other team that they would have played, they probably would have won that game. At number 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Like Lil said, I'm not the highest on them, bro. I gotta see them do a little bit better, and I've been saying this since week 1. And y'all know Lamar Jackson is still my MVP. I'm still standing on that, but I still have to see more for them to be an actual contender in my eyes. I really don't feel like they're even still a contender. I feel like they gotta really boom their division for me to say, like, all right, now they're really them guys, because they are 1-1 in their division. No, I think they 2-1 in their division. They did lose to the Steelers. So, I mean, they still got some proving to do. I'm going to be honest with you. At number 3, I got Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been playing great ball all year. They have some nasty losses, but they've been playing great ball all year. And they can continue to do good. Their schedule is very favorable, too. They don't really have the hardest schedule looking forward. So, they could be another team that also jumps into this race as far as a contender. Number 2, I got the Chiefs. We know what the Chiefs is going to bring offensively every week. I mean, y'all want to talk about what they did. Like I said, bro, super efficient first half, 21-0 going into halftime. That's still a great offensive game when you talk about efficiency and just protecting the football and doing what you got to do to get the win. It wasn't the prettiest, the flashiest, what we look for, but it still gets the job done, and they've been doing that all year. They've been squeaking away wins, and they're 7-2 for a reason. They're still a great football team. At number 1, I got the Eagles. I mean, 8-1 for a reason. They came out and balled every week other than that nasty loss against the Jets. And we gave that game to them with our turnovers and Hurts giving away the ball. So, I mean, that's just all it is to it. The Eagles are the best team in the league right now.
But, damn, y'all gave up on y'all Lions that quick? What happened, man? They just lost one game.
What?
Josh, they have 2 losses.
I
They have 2
was
losses.
never the hugest on the Lions. Don't act like I was huge on them.
Yeah,
I
y'all
just
was
thought they
Lions
was good.
advocates over here. I thought they was
Which one
going to the
is it?
NFC
It's like you were the Dallas
Championship.
Cowboys advocate.
All I said
He
was that
put
they
him in
was
the
going to
top
win
The
their
five.
Lions are
division.
better than the Cowboys.
He
Record
didn't say
wise,
that.
record wise.
He didn't say that.
Record wise.
Bobby,
Lions
The
still top
Lions
10
aren't
team.
better than the Cowboys.
huh?
I got the Cowboys over the Lions.
Okay.
Yeah. They got a better record than them, but they
Making
not
sure we
13.
all got some sense here. Anyway,
Yeah, you don't got those.
let me get y'all my top five. At number 5, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been playing very good football. They 6-2. Their best one was against the Bills team over in London. I think that matchup kind of favored them a little bit, just because the simple fact they was already in London for 2 weeks at that point. Jacksonville just came over, played them, but they've been finding ways to win these games and stuff like that. So for that reason alone, I got them at number 5. At number 4, still got the Miami Dolphins. I think they still a very good football team. They do have to, prove it against some, formidable foes. But this is a team that's been banged up a lot of the year. You're gonna get Xavier Howard back. You're gonna get Jalen Ramsey back. You're gonna get Devin A-Chain back at some point. So this is still a team to be reckoned with. Don't get it twisted. They have some offensive line players hurt as well. They should be getting some of them back soon as well. So I think once this team get back healthy and get some of those guys back in the lineup, this is still a team to give a team problems. They came down to the wire. They had a chance to beat y'all number 1 team. At the end of the day, I think they still a very, very good team in the league. Number 3, I got the Ravens. They've been playing very good football. They just blew out 2 teams that should make the playoffs in the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Some of y'all been high on Detroit, but they've been taking care of business. Some of that strongly on their defense. Lamar has been playing okay football. I don't think he's been playing MVP Lamar football, but he's been playing very good football. So he's having his team ready to win. At number 2, I got the Chiefs. They got that very, very bad loss against the Denver Broncos. If it wasn't for that very bad loss, this is a team that you could argue really could be undefeated given what happened in week 1 against the Detroit Lions when they were missing 2 of their 3 best players. But that loss against Denver, even though it is a divisional game, is just inexcusable. You can't lose to a team that's that bad, especially defensively. You only put up 9 points. You got to be better than that. I think they will. This is still, the team, to beat in the AFC. And at number 1, I got the Eagles. They're 8-1 right now. They're playing very good.
Wait. Repeat that.
I said it earlier. What the fuck? Anyway, I got them number 1 in the league. They're 8-1. They're the only team with 1 loss. They do have a very bad loss on their record as well. They're going into a bye, so they're sitting on top, being pretty. But they have some flaws they need to get over. But lately they just been finding ways to win games. That's my top 10.
All right, well, that's all she wrote for the NFL. Let's move on to the next one. Give us y'all thoughts and opinions on what y'all saw in NFL Week 9. Also, give us y'all takes for the half season. We're at the halfway point. Also, let us know your top 5 teams going into the halfway point of the season. All right, let's move on to some college football now. Let's get into it. We're going to recap about 6 games that we thought were the biggest games this past weekend. First, let's kick it off with a Big 12 matchup as number 7 Texas. They hold on. They defeated number 23 ranked Kansas State in overtime.
Texas came away with 1 late in the game. They were shooting themselves in the foot all game. I'm going to be honest with you. Malik Murphy, he didn't look the worst, but them 2 interceptions really was costly. More on the Kansas State side, they played a pretty good game themselves. Will Howard came out to play. He threw a bad pick, but it wasn't as bad as how he played all game. He's really what kept them in the game. He's what brought them to overtime. You can't ask more from somebody out of your quarterback going against the number 7 team in the nation. You really can't ask for more. But I mean, Texas came away late, and that's what you got to do to get the job done.
So Will Howard, he started off pretty slow, but he definitely willed K-State back in this game. That ugly pick in the beginning, I mean, it happens, but he kind of erased it by his performance in the second half, definitely bringing back the team. DJ Giddison didn't have really too much good of a game running the ball, but hey, Will Howard definitely spread the ball to his receivers, and J.C. Brown, Phillip Brooks, and Keegan Johnson, all those guys had a touchdown or 2 apiece. But he also had a fumble loss as well in this game. So the K-State, they could clean up the turnovers. If they didn't have no turnovers this game, they probably could have beat Texas. But Texas, on the other hand, they miss Quentin Ewers. They need him back. Malik Murphy had a solid game. The bad interceptions, I think they would have played a better team than K-State. Texas loses this game, and they will be out of playoff contention. But Jonathan Brooks had a really good game running the ball. A.D. Mitchell had a great game receiving, 8 for 149. Xavier Worthy had a quiet game. He had 150 yards receiving. But this game went to overtime, and I like the call a little bit, but I didn't like it too much in overtime, where Texas kicked the field goal to tie it up and move on, but they went for it, and they failed on the conversion. So that's why Texas got the win. At the end of the day, I feel like Texas, they need Quentin Ewers back as soon as possible.
Looking at this game, Texas did get by with this game. They tried to get away late. K-State put up 16 points in the fourth quarter to send this game to overtime to tie it up, to make it a close game. But, the better team found their way to win late in overtime. They got a field goal, stopped them. So hats off to them for getting a win. But like you mentioned, they do need Quentin Ewers back if they're actually going to compete and have a chance to make the playoffs. They still in the run with that one loss that they got to Oklahoma. If they win out, they'd be in a Big 12 championship. They win a Big 12 championship. They got a very good chance to get in, and they have a very good roster. Jonathan Brooks does what Jonathan Brooks at the end of the day goes for over 100 again and a touchdown. He's been a dog all year. CJ Baxter, very underrated, number 2 running back in the league right now, could be number 1 on a lot of other college teams. He went for 90 yards and a touchdown. That's what pretty much, helped them, keep him in this game. And then you got A.D. Mitchell go for 149, a touchdown as well. Malik Murphy has to be better. He had 2 interceptions, which is just not good enough. It's not going to get it done. It is bad, though, that they did lose another fumble to Jonathan Brooks. Can't be doing that. You can't turn a football over. That's 3 turnovers in a game. Very good team. You get beat like that. But, since they're a better, more talented team than this K-State team, they found a way to get it done late.
All right, let's move on to the next game. As Clemson knocked off Notre Dame in the Fighting Irish, 31-23.
It was just another case of Notre Dame shooting themselves. That was really all, bro. I mean, Notre Dame, late in this game, man, I thought they had it. I thought Clemson was going to, fold on this, but they ended up coming through with the win. That was my prediction. I missed last podcast, but I sent my predictions of what my winners was in chat, and I did predict this upset. I seen Clemson coming out to do it. They played at home, and Clemson has a way with playing at home with Notre Dame. They do, they have looked very shaky this season, but Clemson is still a team to play at home, bro. They still bring it. They still bring the pain, and Dabo Swinney's always gonna have them ready to play.
Prior episode, I was saying how Dabo Swinney, I wasn't saying he's on a hot seat, but I was saying that he needs to get it together with Clemson. This is exactly what he needed to do to bounce back. And he got his boys. They came out there to beat, honestly, one of the best defensive teams in the nation in Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, I also said this also before the college football season started. Notre Dame is a team that always shits the bed and folds and falls on their face. I said this, and people call me crazy. Look at them now. They lost to a bad Clemson team. I mean, this Clemson team, they were at home. They're still a talented team, but they weren't as good as they were supposed to be this year. They weren't even ranked this game. So this is just a bad game by Notre Dame. Sam Hartman had a bad game, really bad game. Ultra Estime, he had under 100 yards rushing, but he still added a touchdown on the ground. So did Sam Hartman, but the receivers for Notre Dame could not get open and create any type of separation. And on Clemson end, Clay Klubnik, he had a very quiet game as well, but Phil Maffa was really that guy on the ground, almost 190 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. They couldn't tackle this guy. And the receivers for Clemson, they didn't really do too much as well. As their quarterback, he couldn't really get the ball out. But this is just a bad loss by Notre Dame. Again, they always fall on their face when it matters. Like I said, I stand corrected.
Yeah, Notre Dame just, I think, played bad in this game. Sam Hartman had a very bad game, 13 for 31, 46, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And then you had another fumble by Chris Tyree that y'all lost as well. So that's 3 turnovers on a game. That's just not going to get it done as a team. And defensively, they could not stop the run when it came to Phil Maffa. He ran for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did put the ball on the turf twice. He did lose one of them.
He did.
K Cutlet did not have the best game either. He only had 109 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But they just found a way to get the. They got out to this lead early. They jumped on them early, put up 24 points in the second half. They put up a touchdown in the third quarter, and that's all they needed to get the job done. Notre Dame tried to fight back. They put up. Coming out slow, they only put up 9 points in the first half. They put up 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, but they couldn't get nothing going in the fourth quarter when it matters most. When it's time to win a game, they couldn't find a way to do it. And at Clemson, I think that was the biggest difference there. And I'm gonna give my hats off to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. dog. Is one of my best college players before going into the season. And he showed out 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. He was all over the field. He made Sam Hartman Day very uncomfortable. He showed why he is the first round draft pick in next year's draft. And Clemson just found a way to get it done.
All right, on to the next game. SEC matchup as Georgia pulled away in the fourth quarter as they defeated the Missouri Tigers 30-21.
Man, this was a close game. First half. I mean, this was a great game all around. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to watch it, I mean, first half it looked like Missouri had something going. They went and got a touchdown in the first quarter to Luther Burden. It looked like a connection that's been going on great all year, and I mean, it showed in that big game. I thought Missouri was gonna come out with the win. I had them for the upset also, but they just ended up, getting a little lackadaisical at the end. They stalled out, and that's what's going to happen against a Georgia team like that. Carson Beck, he had a pretty good game throwing the ball. He got it done, and that's honestly what got them to that win. Mizzou, they was playing great defense all game, but just folded late in the game, and the offense stalled out too. It looked like they just ran out of gas, I'm gonna be honest. And if y'all know about Georgia's team, bro, that's a team with a motor. They have players and they have depth.
Keep it going.
That's a team that they're not going to get tired on. I'm going to be honest with you. And that's how it looked with Mizzou, man. It looked like they just ran out of gas late in the game. They didn't have too much more fight in them.
Missouri, honestly, they were really competitive, but that interception in the fourth quarter by Brady Cook really hurt them and gave Georgia the field goal to put them up by 9, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point. But Brady Cook got to be not turn the ball over. He threw 2 picks. Again, I spoke on one of them. And Corey Schrader had a good game running the ball. Now, you see a lot of teams, they really don't do too much run the ball against this Georgia defense, but Corey Schrader found a way. And Luther Burden, besides that one long touchdown, they kind of shut him down, not going to lie. Theo Weiss was your leading receiver for this game. But if Missouri could have took care of the ball better, they probably could have made this game more close or more competitive. But Georgia's just that team, like Dino said, with a higher motor. They're going to get it going. Carson Beck, really efficient game, 254 and 2 touchdowns in the air. DeJohn Edwards had a solid game running the ball. Him and Kendall Milton, they continue to be one of the best front-to-back duels in the nation. And without Brock Bowers, this team is still winning. Now, I do still see Georgia losing the next couple of weeks. If they do lose, they still got a chance to be top 4 for make the college football playoff. But, I mean, if Missouri could knock them off, I don't know who could knock them off in the next couple of weeks. But just my hot take, I think Georgia can lose, but I don't see it happening, honestly.
I mean, Georgia still got to play Ole Miss next week. They got Ole Miss coming up. Ole Miss been playing pretty good. But yeah, looking at this game, put it like this: the deciding factor in this game was Missouri last 2 drives resulted in interceptions. And when you're not as talented as the team that you're playing, you're good. You're probably as good, but not as talented as the team that you're playing against. You can't turn the football over. The turnover margin, two turnovers to none. You know, especially against a very good Georgia team, you don't turn them over and they turn you over twice. That's not a recipe to come out with a win. You know, like you mentioned, they couldn't really get Luther Burden going. You know, their number one receiver. He had that one long catch, but besides that, you know, he didn't really do too much. Brady Cook went 14 for 32, 12, 1 touchdown. I mentioned the 2 interceptions that he had. You know, you cannot do that. You cannot turn over, especially in the fourth quarter when you got to score points. You turn the football over back-to-back drives. That's all she wrote pretty much. Carson Beck, he pretty much had him solid today. He's not a great quarterback, but he's very serviceable. And then he did what he had to do to win the game. He didn't turn the ball over. They protected the football. They ran the football very efficiently. You know, they took care of the football, and that's all you got to do, you know, to win these games, especially when you're the more talented team. And that's what was the deciding edge that put this team over the top.
I want to the next one, Big 12 matchup, as the Oklahoma State Cowboys knocked off the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma Sooners are now officially not able to make the college football playoff with their second loss of the year.
Oh, man, this one broke my heart, man. Oklahoma wasn't one of my dark horse teams to make the college football playoffs late in the season. They just needed to win out. And this was a heartbreaker for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a great game in general, though. I'm gonna be completely honest. It was a hell of a game. Talk about Oklahoma first, man. Dylan Gabriel, he had a pretty solid game with 344 and a touchdown. I mean, the pick was it was detrimental, but he still played pretty good despite that pick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean,
He did. Not gonna lie.
yeah, he did what he could. I'm gonna be honest. Even on the ground, I mean, they had a pretty good rushing game. Y'all know I'm gonna bring up my boy Tyree with the long touchdown. I loved it, but I mean, it really was Gavin Showtruck on the ground. He gave you a pretty solid rushing game with over 100 yards rushing. But Oklahoma State, bro, that's who really came and balled out. Alan Bowman, he really balled out. He gave you all he really could. He didn't give you no touchdowns. He didn't give you no touchdowns, but he took care of the ball. It really was mainly Ali Gordon, bro. He's been a dog. He's very overrated. Overrated, very underrated as far as the radar goes for running backs in the nation. He's been killing it all year, and that's what you do. He came out and did it again against a great Oklahoma team. He gave you 137 and 2 touchdowns. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Even Alan Bowman had a touchdown on the ground. That's how you take down a top 10 team in the nation, and they came out and did it. Heartbreaker, but I mean, I would say it was definitely a deserved win.
Honestly, this game came down to that turnover by Dylan Gabriel. Not gonna lie. They don't turn the ball over. I think Oklahoma wins this game, but now they're not even contention to make the college football playoff. Besides that pick, though, Dylan Gabriel did have a good game. He had a really solid game.
It was detrimental. It was detrimental.
Yeah, it really was. That Gavin Sawchuk, great game running the ball, and Tyree Walker, they both had a touchdown apiece. Drake Stoops, that guy is an underrated wide receiver. He gets it done when it matters. He's a good leader on that Oklahoma team. Jalil Farouk, he's a dog at receiver. So is Nick Anderson. So this team has some down. They have some talent offenses out of the ball. Oklahoma just fall on their face when it matters as well. And I've talked about them in the preseason as well. They fall on their face when it matters. But for Oklahoma State, Alan Bowman, he even threw a touchdown, but he had a really efficient day throwing the ball. He threw for over 300 yards. Ollie Gordon is just a dog, man. Underrated as hell. 132 touchdowns. Rashad Owens and Brandon Presley, I like watching them catch the ball from Alan Bowman. But honestly, Oklahoma State, if like I said, they won this game based off of that detrimental interception by Dylan Gabriel. At the end of the day, Oklahoma State, they got a W.
There's a couple drop picks for Oklahoma too, but I'm gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game, this is another game. Turnovers is the biggest factor, especially when you fumble the football late in the fourth quarter. You know, that results in 3 points. Dylan Gabriel did have 2 turnovers in this game. Javonte Barnes also did have a turnover in this game. You know, that just can't happen. And like I mentioned, when you turn over the ball 3 times and multiple times, and then you on the opposing end, your defense don't get any, that's a recipe to lose, especially against a very good team in Oklahoma State, who's not a bad team when you look at, what they can do offensively, especially with Ali Gordon, who had him amazing day with 137 yards, 2 tutties. Got to definitely get it done. Alan Bowman had a pretty good game passing the football. He didn't get any touchdowns, but he protected the football. He didn't turn over the football. Rashad Owens had him a big game, 136 in the air. Brendan Presley added on another 97. Leon Johnson added on another 70. They DBs just couldn't stop anybody, but vice versa. Oklahoma State DBs couldn't stop Dylan Gabriel from getting what he wanted. He had 344, but he did have the 1 turnover, like I mentioned. That's a recipe to lose. They ran the ball very good, 27 carries, 148 total rushing yards between the 2 running backs pretty much. They did have 2 touchdowns as well, but like I said, I think the biggest difference in this game was just the turnovers and when they happen. If you protect the football, Oklahoma probably still only has 1 loss in their record, but when you turn over the football and you don't get turnovers on the other end, that's a recipe to lose every single time.
All right, on to the next game we're going to cover. SEC matchup, the Alabama Crimson Tide. They defended their home turf. They defeated the LSU Tigers 42-28, in which Dayton Daniels did leave the game with a concussion.
It was a close game to start with. I'm gonna be honest with you. I took LSU in this game. Another upset for me. But I still feel like LSU would have had a chance. But Bama did run away with that, literally. Jalen Milroe ran away with that, literally. Jalen Milroe gives you the most rushing touchdowns in NFL history. I mean, I say NFL history. I'm tripping. In Alabama history, when it comes to quarterbacks in a single game, he rushed for 4 touchdowns. When you got that recipe rushing the ball, I mean, yeah, he only about 200 yards passing. So, I mean, but when you could get it done on your feet like that, that's a recipe for a win. Jaden Daniels, he had a pretty solid game going into the second half. Then, like we just mentioned, he got knocked out with that concussion, out for the rest of the game. And I mean, that was really all she wrote. After he went out, the offense just kept stalling. They were stalling in general before he even got hurt. I'm gonna be honest with you. Receivers was dropping passes. It just wasn't looking like it was going uphill for them. It was going very much downhill, and that ultimately led to that loss.
This game was close, and I think I wouldn't say that was an illegal hit on Jaden Daniels to get him out of the game, but it definitely affected the game as he was killing it, honestly. And I'm going to say this right now, bro. Who else on LSU offense is going to step up besides Malik Neighbors? They have no run game, bro. Jaden Daniels was your leading rusher. He had 163 and 1 touchdown, and he did great passing the ball. He did have a pick, but he kind of cleaned up with his play. But who else on this LSU offense is going to step up besides Malik Neighbors? Like, this is bad on this LSU offense. That's why they have 3 losses. But on Alabama, Jalen Milroe, he's not the best passer, but the guy can definitely run the ball. I mean, his touchdowns all came off of running the ball, as he had 155 yards running the ball. Isaiah Bond was leading receiver. Nobody else really had too much of a game catching the ball, but good game by Bama to pull away in the second half and get the win. Definitely on the legs and back of Jalen Milroe.
And when we all learn, man, that Bama's not losing at home. Like,
I didn't pick LSU. He did. I learned my lesson.
I get it.
I learned my lesson.
You finally seen the light. I thought, over the weeks of talking, Dennis would have listened to all the stuff I've been saying, but he don't want to listen. I get it.
What you mean? I picked Bama at home versus Texas.
I don't know why you did that, because I didn't.
What you mean?
I don't know why you did that,
because I did. Reason you did.
I picked Texas in that one. But any other game at home, I'm not picking against Bama there. Besides that one game, they haven't lost at home. They're 6-0 in the conference. Jalen Milroe and Jaden Daniels, I'm not gonna lie, they both showed great quarterback displays as dual threat quarterbacks. They both had amazing games running the football. Jaden Daniels 163, 1 touchdown. Jalen Milroe 155 and 4 touchdowns. I'm gonna be honest. I get that Jaden Daniels went out with a concussion, but he didn't go out with an injury until after Bama put up 21 unanswered points. Bama did do that. They was down 21-28, and Jalen Milroe took that team down the field 3 times, put 3 touchdowns on the board, and that's all she wrote. And that's pretty much what this game came down to. And I told you this before, like, sometimes I don't know how they're going to do it, but Bama's going to get it done, especially under Nick Saban. Nick Saban coach team, I'm not ruling them out of anything. They're very well coached, especially at home. Nick Saban's going to have them boys ready to play. He's going to make the right adjustments. And that's exactly what he did to have his team, ready to play and win this game. All in all, when the time came to put together some game-winning drives, that's exactly what they did. Hats off to Jalen Milroe for the very impressive performance that he put on the ground. Hats off to Bama. They're right in the thick of things. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. Let's see where they end up ranked tomorrow. But, good win by Bama.
All right, on to the last game we're going to cover for tonight. Pac-12 showdown. Very, very high scoring game, as this game had a combined score of 94 points total. As Washington Huskies, they topped the USC Trojans, who are now unranked 52-42.
Oh man, USC, they just got knocked out of championship contention too in the Pac-12. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about that offense, because that offense still goes down the field and puts up points. That defense is so bad, bro. It's so bad. I mean, Michael, you talk about this. I want to just talk about the second half, really. Not even the first half. I want to talk about the second half, because this is a Washington team that we know them for what? Passing the ball. They're going to air it out. They had 86 yards of total of passing the ball on the second half. And they still came out with the win. They ran it on y'all. Their running back, Dylan Johnson, had 270 yards, 270 plus on y'all.
He rushed for over 100 yards his first 4 seasons at college football.
Exactly, bro. And he torched y'all. Y'all let a player that wasn't even in the game plan torch y'all. I'm pretty sure they didn't talk about him all week. And he completely torched y'all. I mean, it just goes to show why your DC got fired. And for Washington, I'm going to be honest, bro. I'm still not the biggest sold on them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still not the biggest sold on them. Some people got them making it into the college football playoffs. I feel like they're gonna lose the second time they play to Oregon, but we're gonna talk about that later down the line. Yeah, it's just bad for USC.
This game was very, very high scoring. Neither defense showed up. I mean, both of these teams' defense is bad, but USC is just worse. You talk about Dylan Johnson running for over 250 yards and 4 touchdowns when this guy hasn't even collected over 100 yards in his first 4 seasons as a collegiate athlete. That's crazy. Michael Penix Jr. had an okay game. Or Dunze had an okay game. I mean, he had 5 for 82. Jalen Pope 552. This USC team, they defense is just that bad, bro. The DC being fired is long overdue. He should have been fired. We spoke about this USC defense at the beginning of the year. Again, once they went against San Jose State and San Jose State, they put up some points on them. I knew USC defense was gonna be in trouble this year. But Caleb Williams, I mean, he gave it all he got, honestly. He gave it all he got. Austin Jones, he's really good running the ball. He had 127 rushing. Taj Washington stepped up and Brandon Rice, they had a touchdown apiece. But honestly, USC's Achilles heel is their defense. And honestly, they really not gonna make the Pac-12 championship now because they got 3 losses. But it's just bad how the season's gonna end for them. They're definitely gonna make a good bowl game, but probably a New Year's Six bowl game if they win out. But that's pretty much their ceiling.
I mean, I was exactly right on this USC team, who they are, what they're going to be early in the season, during the season, everything about this team. I told you guys earlier, they haven't played nobody. They have ranked opponents coming up. Let's see how they fare against those. They've lost all 3 games to three ranked opponents. They have 2 more. They got Oregon next week, was going to be a huge test. We've seen what Oregon has done to a lot of these teams. Only team they haven't, beat is really Washington. But we've seen how they take care of Utahs. They see how, we took care of the Colorados when they was rolling earlier in the season and stuff like that. So they have another test coming up, and they're gonna have a hard road. But when you look at it, I get it. That defense is horrible. They allowed that team to put up 52 points, which is hard to win. But it's not like they were out of this game. It's not like it was like 52 points and they just ran away with it or something like that. USC was still in this game, but when you don't score any points in the fourth quarter, that's the deciding factor in the game. And that's my only issue with like Caleb Williams and everything that happened after the game and stuff like that. It's just like you had the opportunity in this game. It's not like y'all got blown out. Washington came out, blow the doors off, and you played garbage time football. You made it close at the end. No, this was a nip and tuck ball game, and you just couldn't get it done late. You couldn't figure out how to get your team down the field late and score. And this pretty much took him out of the Heisman race. This could have been a Heisman moment for him. And in return, this is kind of a Heisman moment for Michael Penix because he found a way to get the job done. He found a way to score points in the fourth quarter to get the job done. That Washington defense finally got to stop, got the ball back. And, once they went up, by 3, they kind of, sat on it. USC couldn't do anything. They went down, scored another touchdown. That's all she wrote. But, like you mentioned, it was a terrible, terrible defensive game for the fact that you let Dylan Johnson go for 256 and 4 touchdowns. I don't know how you allow that to happen. Bad. If you see him getting in the groove earlier in the game, you got to do something to take him out the game. They did absolutely nothing to take him out the game, and end result that pretty much cost him the game late. When we look at what Michael Penix did, Michael Penix had a pretty solid day, 256, 2 tutties, but he did also have a turnover. Caleb Williams had over 300 yards, three touchdowns, no turnovers. That's a game, you have to control and figure out a way to win. And one team did and the other team didn't. So hats off to Washington for figuring out a way to pull out a shootout game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for college football week 10. Let us know in the comment section what y'all think about this past week. If there's any game that we did not cover, that's your team, that you had a favorite team of, leave that in the comment section, and we'll give you our reactions or opinions on it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving into the last topic of the night, we're going to move into college basketball. We are going to give our early predictions for who's going to win the 2023 college basketball championship. Honestly, this may seem biased because they're the season #1 ranked team heading into the year already off the bat, but I'm going with the Kansas Jayhawks. You're led by head coach Bill Self. He already had 2 national championships, and honestly, he would have had another if it wasn't for the 2020 pandemic that killed the season. And they're number one in the AP preseason poll coming into this year. And they returned DeJuan Harris, Kevin McCullough, and KJ Adams. And they also got transfers Hunter Dixon and Nick Timberlake. You know, they got experience, they got talent, they got depth. They have a great head coach. And honestly, this is a team that has it all to win a championship. So honestly, it has to be a really good Cinderella story or a really off night for Kansas to get knocked off and not win the championship. I do see them making the NCAA Final Four in Glendale, Arizona. But I mean, hey, we'll see. The season always gets wild when it comes to March. But as of right now, for my early predictions, just give me the Kansas Jayhawks. It's too good to be true.
I like it. But I'm riding with my boys, man.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm riding with Duke. I think Duke has the depth and the firepower to get it done. When you look at who they have, you have Jeremy Roach back as a senior, leading the point guard at the helm. Very good point guard. You also have another top 10 draft pick in Tyrese Proctor, who's one of the best combo guards in college basketball, leading at the helm. You have one of the best players in college with Kyle Flip, who a lot of people thought should have went to the draft. He decides to come back for another year. He's a very good big man. I think he's 6'10", can stretch the floor. You know, he could shoot from the outside. He could score from inside the basket. And then you bring in the number 2 recruiting class in the nation. You got Jared McCann, who is a top 10 player in the nation. You got Soren Stewart, TJ Powers, a lot of players that can score the basketball. And you have veteran players. You have a big man in Ryan Young. So if y'all have to go big, you could put Kyle Flip to the 4, put Ryan Young at the 5. You have like I said, one of the best backcourts in college basketball. I think that's going to give a lot of teams problem come later in the year, especially with the experience. These players have played in big games. They know what it's like to play in big games. And this is something that we haven't seen from a Duke team, is more veteran guys on the team. There's usually one and done guys, but when you bring back most of your class that you recruited just a year ago, and most of them come back, and you add them with a number 2 recruiting class in the nation, that's a recipe, you know, to win a lot of games. And they're going to be a problem to deal with within college basketball for the Kansas. They play Michigan State next week. They have Arizona, another top 12. I think Arizona's ranked number 12. So we're going to get an early taste to see how good this team really is. And I think, you know, they're going to put the nation on notice. They are ranked number 2 right now, right behind the Kansas team, like you mentioned. But I got the Blue Devils going all the way. Let's go, baby.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I wanted to go with UConn because I like UConn. But I'm going to be honest with you. My real bold prediction, I'm going with Purdue. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm liking what Purdue bringing back. They have a pretty experienced starting 5. I want to talk more about Zach Edey. I mean, Zach Edey, he's one of the reasons that Canada beat the U.S. I mean, this is a draft pick moving forward. This is going to be somebody that we see playing in the NBA, of course. 7'4", 300 pounds from Toronto. He looks like a nice dude, but bro, he plays aggressive. He actually plays defense. He averages 22 points a game as a center, averages 12 rebounds. He's a board crasher. I mean, he's gonna be somebody that they're already talking about him being one of the best centers in the nation. I think he's definitely up there. And just the depth on the team, adding him, with him on top of the experience and depth y'all have on that Purdue team. I mean, everybody that's playing in that starting 5 has played college basketball before and has been there. Their youngest player right now on their starting 5 is a sophomore. So, I mean, they have players that's been there, that's done that, and I feel like that's gonna be the team that's gonna ride it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, those are our early predictions for who is going to win the 2023 season college basketball national championship. Leave in the comment section who y'all think is going to win the national championship this year. Give us your sleeper team as well. Give us your Cinderella team as well. We want to know all that. But hey, the season has kicked off, so make sure y'all tuned in this college basketball season. But that is it for episode 28 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for listening or watching for whatever platform you guys are supporting us on. We appreciate all the feedback. Make sure y'all look out for more content coming soon. We're going to keep bringing it to y'all. Just keep running these numbers up, though.
Yeah, guys, and that's for as little as $2 a month. You guys can do your part in supporting us and joining our Patreon. We are a self-funded podcast, meaning that we work our regular 9 to 5 jobs and bring this to y'all in our free time. Also, the best way to get some personal arguing on is through our Patreon. The best way to personally connect with us in general is through our Patreon, and the best way to get some discounts and some free merch on shirts and hats that we're gonna be putting out real soon is through Patreon. That's the best way. Also, I'm gonna be starting a Discord soon. Best way to get onto the Discord will also be Patreon. We're gonna be throwing that on one of the packages, so y'all should go check that out. And we're gonna appreciate every bit of support you guys bring us. With Patreon is the best way to go to help us out, but we do appreciate every bit of support you guys bring us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keep showing love to us on our social medias, on Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast, TikTok at Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. We're gonna be rolling out some more content. We've been coming up with some more ideas, some more stuff, to get you guys interacting with us, so we can have more conversations with you guys to see what you like, see what you guys want to hear us talk about and stuff like that. But we do this for you guys, so I think that's the biggest thing is you guys keep showing love. Make sure you guys are sharing this with your moms, your dads, your friends, your cousins, your uncles, your dogs, your cats, everybody. Feel me? Like I said, we doing it for you guys. Without you guys, we just be talking to ourselves. So we appreciate all the love we've been getting, and we appreciate all the love that we will be receiving in the future.
Also, make sure you guys follow us on our personal Instagrams. They're on the screen as well as in the description box. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 28. We shall see y'all on Friday.